So the day's come, the show's been picked. How do you do a set?
Well, we start out with a design meeting, and we get all the principals together. We get construction, we get marketing, we get direction, music, everything, and we design the show based upon an initial meeting, how we want to lay it out. Once the concept is started, we come up with a 3D model, which is this here. This is an exact replica to scale of our theater, and then we start layering in how we want the presentation to look. If you see on the top, you can see that we've marked and labeled everything in our ceiling, all of our drops, trusses, mid curtain, border curtains, the whole 9 yards, and then we insert dowel rods in it, and then from there we'll mock up the curtains. And then all of our applications, the legs, which are all these are rented pieces, so we know exactly what we need in the width and the height and the length based upon the mock-up of our theater. So we just wind up cutting them out and printing them and then laying them on our little truss here to see how they fit all in the show. We develop our platforms, our ramps, entrances, exits for the entire play. So we think it through, figure out how the actors and actresses will get on, how they'll get off, and anything we need to change in this happens in this time. So after we finish with that and we're pretty happy with it, then Mr. Alvarez will go to blueprint. So as it is set up to scale on the floor, and then we start laying out ramps and levels of our stage. We got an A level, B level, we got 3 levels to this. These are ons and offs, so they can enter through. There's a back area where the witch enters and exits. We have several uses for these. The items in white are from our previous play, The Crucible. So when we started this season, we knew that we were tight on money, and we had to do some things in order to save money. So for our fall play, which would be our first play in the season, we built all this stuff for The Crucible. Then we broke it all down and reused it, and then built on these pieces here, added these pieces in, so that we could come up with the entire stage and save money at the same time. So now we have it all come together. Our entire season is represented here. Actually, these pieces in the back, as you see on the set, they are from The Sound of Music. These are the hills that they climbed at the very end. So we recycled this. It's the importance of us having ample storage and be able to store these wonderful things that we create, like the trees and everything else, so that we can pull them out at a later time and recycle them in the plays, because it saves us money, it saves us time, and especially since we don't have much of a work crew, we have to do this on weekends, and I am here during school to do it, so it's limited. So being able to reuse these set pieces are important. So we'll shuffle this off here. We have dimensions of everything. So after we get our initial layout, then we'll start measuring. So we know exactly where everything is, where it is based upon the center line of the scale. Everything's brought out into feet and width and height, so that we know exactly where to place it and exactly where curtains go, so we can mock this thing up. We even do it from the side too. So we have a side view here where we're actually looking. We got the cyclorama in the back, which is a rear curtain, and we have the main curtain up front. We have our stage and our elevation laid out here. This model is to scale, so this is how someone would look at different pitches. We have our lighting, then we know where to hang our legs, and all of our mid pieces that hang from the ceiling, we know which truss to use it on, so we can center the stage and get it correctly. Then we move over to props. Now there's a lot of, in this play, there's a lot of moving things around this set. It's not only the set is not only huge, but the play is huge. So these are the books, and Mr. Alvarez designs the books. We shipped this over this year to Coach Flanders over in the wood shop carpentry class, so that they could take and build all of this stuff for us while we were building ramps and other pieces. So we're I started this a couple of years ago where we could start working with other departments in the school. Why not? I mean, nobody seems to, but we've got arts, now we got wood shop, we got a lot of people working together to try to get these huge productions done. And we lay it out just like you would build a house. We give these over, and this is a great thing about sharing what we do with other departments in the school, is that we work off blueprints as you were to build a building or a house. So everything's laid out for them, and the teacher can go and explain to them how to read a blueprint, how to read a plan, how elevation works. All your measurements are here, and they'll go to build this stuff as an actual class unit. We do the same thing here. We also discuss safety in these things. So part of stagecrafting is having a safe set, be able to take the load and the amount of traffic that's happening. So we put in the proper amount of cross braces. We show a side area of it to show how it's built. I'll actually go over there and help supervise some of it. As in here, now we're laying out other items in here and staircases and everything, and how this is laid out so that we know the height and level of our platform. So if the shop class comes back with any questions, we have a master platform view of what we're doing. And we started on this, if you look at the date, we started on this in October. So we were in 2016. So we actually started principal construction in January, started doing prints and stuff, and then principal construction was in the first week of February. And then, but we started designing this back in October. And that's it.
As you're beginning to build the set, does it ever come along a surprise that, you need to rethink something, or surprises all the time? You just
Yeah.
kind of hope you plan it out that you don't have as many issues as you hope not.
Well, some of the things that we have are pretty much all rock solid, like platforms, levels, everything those don't change. What does change are things that are added into the play. If we change the design of a prop that moves around, we might need to cut off the end of a ramp. We might need to shorten the stage because the thing we built won't make the turn. We're very narrow on the ends of our stage. So we don't have a lot of room in the aisle, and sometimes we do. We have to go back, we have to pull a platform off, we have to shorten it and put it back in so we can make the turn with a very large prop. We got horses in this one, a carriage that I built. We got this giant book that is a book on one side and a castle on the other side, and it's got to be pulled out and rotated and put back in. So yeah, there's those things like that change. And then hopefully we design these things, 99% of the time when we place them, they fit like they're supposed to, so we can lower down the truss. Like the school uses this giant projection screen that's automatic, and it drops down out of the ceiling, and they use it. Dr. Daniels uses it for announcements and shows and stuff that they do on their own. There's a church here that uses it on Sundays. So we have to build our set around certain pieces that have to move or be operated by other areas of the school. So that's probably the toughest thing when they come in and they say, we've got all these pieces. Oh, we forgot to tell you, there's an event happening. We got a talent show. What? I'm trying to set up my stage. So then we'll have to break it down. We'll actually have to tear part of it apart, move it back behind the mid-curtain, and let them do their thing. And we got to come back out and reset it back up again. It's difficult. It is difficult.
When was the first nail driven for Into the Woods?
February 2nd.
February 2nd. So it takes, and I guess there's...
Now,
Maybe-
granted, we had half of these platforms built in September for the Crucible. So we had already done some of the construction on that already. So those pieces were in place. And then we were working on other things in mid-January. But the actual hammering together of the new platforms and the building of these props and everything were handed over in February.
I've heard silly stories sometimes. Just a term, the set is never finished. There's always something to do.
Yeah, that's true. We're still working on it today.
So
And
you-
it's the last day of the show.
Yeah, because you hinted every now and again with moving pieces, I'm sure something gets chipped or nicked or...
Yeah, we
Ooh,
did.
we
We
have
had a
to-
rough night last night, and they were rough on my props.
Uh-oh.
Part of the things that I do, I not only build the stage and to do that, I also run from behind. I run behind the scenes too. So part of that is props. You have sets, you have props. There's costumes, which I don't handle, but a lot of things I'll fix things for them, things that need to be fabricated that go on, or like the witch's staff. I built the witch's staff for this, and we didn't have enough time for me to do Milky White, but yeah, we have so many things here that can be run into, and this is all student driven, so the kids have tech and they move these things around, they get bumped into, they get damaged. Like last night we had a big large chunk of foam off of the big castle that fell off. I had to fix it, and then Then they used the staff too much and ran the batteries down, so I had to change that during the intermission. So there's lots of little things. The books that we have, these story books that you'll see further on in the video, they are covered with like vinyl from like, you know, automotive stuff, you know, for signage and whatever. And while being durable, they don't stand up well against a piece of metal that's just being drug across it from like one of the lifts or something from one of these trusses that come down. We have powered lifts and the kids run them by and they scrape it, so there's a certain amount of set maintenance, I call it, after every performance. All right, so here's one of the chiller systems, or the fog system. So we have a fog machine here that's been added with a special solution for a low-lying fog. This is a new product for us because we wanted to be able to run everything. This is the first play that we've been able to run through DMX controls. So the very front tech booth has full control over the machine, and they can adjust how much fog comes in and it's shot into the machine. And as far as it comes out of the machine, here's the bridge for the air gap. So this allows fresh oxygen to be mixed with the solution that's shot through here, and then it's shot into this inlet tube which goes into the chiller. And this chiller is a mixture of sodium chloride, regular ice, and then a dry ice chamber, and it rotates through the channel, and then it comes out this end, and we go into a high pressure squirrel cage fan, which is controlled here through a rheostat. So we have full fan control here. We need it high to low. So we're running 200 CFM out of the fan. We can control anywhere from 80 to 200 CFM. So that it pushes it through here. It goes out the tube. It come out on stage. It's passed through here and then gone into this. It goes into this channel that I developed, and it runs all the way down. We have a deflector on the top to keep the fog from rolling down. And there's a small amount of holes in the front that everybody, you know, the fog comes out of. This is one of the chillers. We're on stage right now, audience left, and so this chiller, we actually took it out of the program because we want the fog to rise higher in the performance. So the reason for chilling it is to keep the fog nice and low. It hugs the ground, and it'll follow the actors as they move across stage. When you remove the chiller, it comes more of like a powder. It floats in the air. But this stuff's designed to dissipate after 6 or 7 feet. So that's the beauty about the mixture. So this chiller is designed off the Bose-Einstein theory. It's a real theory that Einstein developed and on atmospheric pressures. And what happens is the fog, the solution comes out about 270 degrees and is shot into here. It comes in here. This is the inlet right here, right on this side. So it comes into here, it comes through the ice, it comes up and then comes into this chamber where there's a big chunk of dry ice inside of here. So the dry ice, what it does is the temperature of the incoming fog is cooled through here, then it's super cooled here. It's like a supercharger, and it's super cooled, and then it's released through these holes into the ice, and which is being chilled, super chilled. It's like ice, like ice cream salt. That's just basically what it is. And then it comes through, and the power of the fan pulls it, starts to suction through this end, and then pulls it in through this area. And we put this on the end because we were actually sucking ice up into the tubes. So we put a little guard on it to keep the ice from being sucked into the tubes. Then it's super chilled. It comes out, and it comes out. We start out at about 260 degrees, 270 degrees, and it's right about 8 degrees, 10 degrees. When it comes out of here. I've had it lower than that. I've had it at 0 at one time.
And the output down here that's disconnected for the show tonight would come to, this is your source of your coolant and your
correct. So
fan
here,
and everything else.
So here's we've disconnected. If you look back here, there's the fan.
Oh, there you go.
All right, and this time we're shooting on 2 sides of the stage. So if you go up here and look down, you can see where we've put a T in, and we're splitting it across the stage, so one can come up on stage left and the other one can come up on stage right, and they kind of converge on each other in the middle of the ramp. So, but here again, we've set the air gap in here, and we're just running it hot. We're just running it dry, and what that does is that allows the fog to rise. In this controlled environment, I'm getting like 12 to 15 foot of rise before I get dissipation. So it's really good. It's an excellent effect doing it like this. The fans, these new fans are working great. I really like them. We got a rheostat control up here. We can control the speed. And then if we need it, we get another scene, we pull this back, you hook up the chiller because everything has these quick disconnects on them. So we can pull this back, we can clip this into the front of the chiller, and I can actually put the chiller on in maybe less than 25 seconds.
So back to the chiller box for a minute. We're seeing just the hoses and stuff. This would be covered in ice?
Yes, normally it would be, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Anything.
The dry ice goes into this chamber first, then the whole thing's covered in ice, and then you sprinkle it with sodium chloride, and it just
you're making
starts
ice
to...
cream.
Yeah. Just super freezing it. Yeah, so that's basically how it works. Hi, I'm Donnie Anderson. I'm the Director of Theatrical Construction for Laura Malloy here at Lake Brantley. I'm also the President of the Drama Booster Theater Club, and I teach a little stagecraft while I'm at it as well.
Very nice.
Hi, and I'm Renee Alvarez. I'm the set designer that's been helping Miss Malloy and previous to that, Sirianni, doing stage sets and coming up with ideas for what we'll do for different plays we put on, and looking at the art that has to come on.
The set is amazing. There were oohs and ahs when the curtains opened last night, and I could hear it from the tech booth. You have a plan, you have a dream, you have an idea. Is this it? I mean, did you ever imagine it looking this well, this awesome?
Well, for my part,
Hey, hold it up!
for my part, they don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's...
This is just theater, so we'll be fine.
All right, it's
It's
all
all
good.
make believe.
This is what
There'll
happens.
be the outtake B-roll. We'll do
Yeah,
that at the end. That'll be awesome. That'll be
So
awesome.
for my part, I know that a lot of things that I might dream up, that I might draw, we can put together. But until we see it happening on stage, until we got it all put together and we see the colors coming on, you don't really know until it's finished. Then we often surprise ourselves with the result.
I know you surprised the school tremendously. The kids were like, "Did you see the stage?" Oh my gosh! The non-theater kids who came to the show that told me last night. Is it? Where's this passion come from? I mean, why do this?
Well, there's only a handful of schools in the state of Florida that bring Broadway bigness to high school, and I first actually saw this when I came and saw Grease, and that was Renee's second production. That was the second or third production that he had been doing here. He always had the thing. He came to the show and say, "Man, look at this thing! I can do much better. I can design something way bigger and way better, and bring, some quality and some class and something that's going to attract people to the event." I saw it. It just knocked me out. It was crazy. So I came back. My wife introduced me to Renee, and I was there for the striking of Grease, and then, Renee and I, we have a great relationship, and one of the big reasons why I'm here is that we work so well together. We have a great vision for what's going on, where he designs and I build. I got a vast experience in construction, fabrication. I've worked in movies and props and all kinds of stuff in my past, but Renee just kind of brings it all together. A lot of this is about relationships too, so, right?
And and from my part, I was a thespian in high school. I did set design while I was in high school as well. I did lighting design for a couple of plays, and that's always been in there. Part of that, I took preliminary acting classes in college when I started, and then I became an architect. So
There you go.
this is where I get to have fun.
Oh, sure. I could tell that. I just have a sense that this might be stress relief. It's stressful. There's a deadline, but then, wow, look at what we've made. It's how cool is
It all
this?
comes together with the help of the students and the help of a lot of volunteers that come in. The parents come around. We pull this all together. We do a lot of the
How
work.
big is your crew? To build this thing, it can't be just you two.
Well,
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
Sometimes it is. We have a core group of people, and usually they're on the board. Like Karen Mothersill, she's huge here. We're losing her this year actually, which is we don't know what we're going to do after she goes.
yeah, we need a replacement for her.
Yeah, we do. And so there's a small handful of parents as the parents come through. Like none of our kids are gone. They've been gone from Renly for a couple of years now, but when their kids go, they go, and some of them are we've actually trained to and then by the end of the third year into the fourth year of school they're awesome. And then we lose them, so we got to start over again. But our core group of people is Renee, myself, Karen Mothersill, Lynette will come in and help. Laura, of course, the director, she'll help out. But that's us. That's it.
And on a given weekend, we'll have somewhere from 6 to 10 students that come in on a Saturday, and then another 6 to 10 or a little bit more. And often
Sunday.
we'll get 2 or 3 or 4 parents, and we bring that together. That's why it takes a long time to do these. Not just from the conceptualization, but actually to build it on stage. And then, of course, we have to take it down very quickly afterwards. And so we need a lot of help.
Yeah, the strike is usually in one day. You figure there's 4 months worth of work that goes into this. We have 3 shows, and then it gets destroyed.
Yeah.
It gets torn
Yeah.
down. So we're trying to work out storage solutions now with Dr. Daniels, but and it's, negotiations are coming along very well for that to help us do that. But in the bigger picture, I think would be not having enough time and enough people to do this quickly. Like Mr. Rush. Let's just use his program. I mean, we don't even have a stagecraft class here. I've been doing it here. I'm retired, so I come in and I've been here. I don't know. I think this season I got over 800 hours here, right about that. I think it's about 800.
Like a full-time job.
Like a full-time job here to
And
do this. There is no
without him
stage
being
back.
here doing that, we wouldn't be able to accomplish all
I was going to say this piece is amazing. And last night, I don't know. I'm sure you heard it, but the horse and carriage came on stage, middle of the song. People are clapping. I mean, that kind of had to maybe a little chill bump time. That's cool.
Yeah, that's always a great thing when the audience recognizes that. Wow, this is a pretty awesome piece, and I think with Mr. Rush, in high schools, he would be considered. I think you'd agree with me, the Steven Spielberg of productions. I mean, he's been to Maid Stage. He's won it like 10 times. He's won national like 7 times. He's an amazing. He's retiring this year. And these trees that you see, they were used in his production last year of Into the Woods, and we went over there to take a look at it, and it just blew us away. I mean, we thought we were the only ones doing this huge stuff, and then we got opened up to this world of a handful of people that have a vision like Renee does. He designs it. I just build it, right? So, from that aspect, it was great. It was exciting to see the things that he was doing.
That's at West Orange.
West Orange High School,
He's,
okay.
He's retiring now, but we saw what he did, and we were thinking of doing it this year. So that was last year. We went up to him and said, "What are you doing with your trees?" And he said, "Well, we're going to take them apart." And I said, "No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Take those
No,
trees
you're not.
apart."
We went over
I'll
there
have
with a
truck tomorrow.
26-foot truck.
I was going to say, I'll have a truck
Put 'em
tomorrow.
up.
And
Gave
he's
him
helped us.
$600 or
He's
something
also
like
helped
that.
us with other things as well as that. The horses are lent to us. By
Donnie mentioned something on stage last night that I hadn't heard of, which was cool. Tell us about the paint.
Oh, yeah. This year, like every year, we use a lot of bear paint from Home Depot. It's just quick for us to get, and we've always been doing this. And I had a representative bear come to our office when my day job as architect. We had a lunch and learn, and I stepped over to her and I said, we've been doing productions at Brantley now as long as I've been there for the last 5 years, and every stitch of paint that we use is from Bear. Would you be able to help us with that? And she said, well, give me some information. So luckily I had the information in my computer of all the different plays and the pictures, and I gave her something right away, and she called me back after she got back to the office, said they'd cover the paint. So I'm not quite certain how much the bill came out to, but they covered all the paint that you see here.
It'd be over
That's-
$1,000.
I was gonna say, that's quite a bit of money.
$1,200 at least.
That's a great.
It's a lot of
great thing
paint.
for them.
And we had Cliff come in this year, and he's going to be a great addition to the team. He owns is part of a company that does signage and all kinds of fabrication for Walt Disney, right?
Yeah.
Disney World. So he came in and did the vinyl coverings for our books that you'll see in this play, and
big graphics. And,
Big
and a lot
graphics,
of
yeah, big
technology we can
graphics.
use,
Yeah, a lot of,
so.
yeah, LEDs and stuff like that. Things that we work with to try to incorporate. We
There's
don't
a
have money
scene.
for.
There's a scene in the movie or the play. Excuse me. Thinking of a movie, the clock face. Where did that come from?
That's
That's from
that's
Chet.
Chet. Our
That's
lighting
Chad. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He figured that out, found it, and brought it to us.
It's a very cool effect.
It's actually a
from
new
everywhere.
piece of technology that he put in there for this. It's called a gobo, and that gobo, and then he was up here somewhere crawling around and found an old rotator that if you notice in the play, the clock arm actually turns. So it's really cool. So he incorporated this new technology with a piece of old technology, morphed it, and it was great effect. Chet's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy.
Phoebe, do you want to help?
Oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to.
It's about that time.
Phoebe, do you want to help?
Oh,
In other words, well, gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate your time and energy. I know, like Brantley, the community loved the show. The students are amazed at the stage.
It's a pleasure. I mean, we do this for the kids, for the students,
Yes.
so they get an impression of what it is to really work in a serious production. We take them to task. We expect
Yes.
high marks from them on what we're doing here. We also would like to say that we are always looking for creative people to come help us.
Yes.
The art department has helped us in the past, and these are things that help us, help the program, and the relationship between the chorus, orchestra, and art is something we really want to bring together with drama.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well-
it is. It is important. It's an important aspect of what we do here. Great things make people raised to a greater level, right? So they by giving them something that's worth it, that is amazing, tends to bring out the amazingness in them.
I've been of the adage, and I firmly believe it, that the school motto, like Brantley, meets the challenge. And looks like the challenge has been met. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And enjoy the final presentation, Into the Woods. We're in the control room, Lake Brantley Auditorium, with the student leadership team who's running tonight's final performance, Into the Woods. Everybody introduce yourselves.
I'm Bridget, I'm Audio 2, and I run the soundtracks.
I'm Matt McLaughlin, I'm the assistant stage manager.
I'm Colton Greenberg. I'm the sound technician.
I'm Amy Harper, I'm the light technician.
And I'm Maddie Garrett, I'm the stage manager.
You're fine. Tell us what, Maddie, we'll start with you. Stage manager. Your book, what happens with the show?
This book has everything about the show in it. It has all the sound cues and light cues and track cues and like cues for everything. And it has the blocking and the script, and it, for the most part, it's the whole entire show.
It's a show. We lose the book, there's no show.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Sorry, guys.
Amy, what's your job?
I run the light board, which essentially controls all the different lighting effects you'll see on stage.
So Maddie would give you a cue for light number, panel, whatever, and then you press the button.
Yes.
Cool. Colton, I know you got the big dance on the board here.
Yes, I do all the mixing for the show. I get my cues from Maddie. She has them all written in the book. And I listen to the audio and I mix it to level it out and make sure it sounds good.
And you have it even to where it's kind of tied down. Actors, the baker's wife is wearing microphone number 4, so
Yes.
you know exactly who's where.
Yep.
So-
I know who has which mic and what their role is and what their actual name is too.
And so, Matt, I'm going to take it. Sometimes Colton's got to call you, fix a microphone, or hang on, there's someone's gown is torn or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what's your biggest challenge in the back?
Everything.
Everything.
My job in the back is to make sure actors are in places, props are where they should be, set pieces come on, everything is in position, dealing with the actors, dealing with problems, making sure everything is the way it should be backstage and everything runs smoothly. That Maddie can't see.
I was going to say, yeah, there has to be a surprise every show. Usually, none of them good.
Yeah. I can agree with that, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say. What do you got going? What's going on with the little iPad?
Well, I have to press the buttons, and I get my keys from Maddie.
What's on the iPad?
Well, the iPad, I'm gonna grab it.
Okay.
is an app called Go Button, and it has all of the tracks and the sound effects, and then I get my cues from Maddie, and then I press the button, and then it goes to the stage.
That's very cool. So there's no, hopefully, no
Well,
chance of.
It doesn't just go to the stage.
Oh, it
Well,
goes to
right,
the
right. It's
stage
in the
as well.
house and everywhere. Yeah. That's very cool. Now, is final performance highly stressed? You rehearse too. How long have you guys been getting ready for tonight?
Well, a lot of us have been getting ready since the actors started getting ready, but we started running everything with all the cues and like in order and everything like that Monday. And we do that for about a week for about like 7 hours each day.
I was gonna say there's probably some long afternoons
it's like
into evening. Yeah.
2:30 to 9.
Wow. Did you discover anything during the show that we need to make a call, Miss Malloy? This might not work, or we might need to change. Do you ever discover something like that in a sequence, or hopefully not?
Well, if there's stuff that like needs to be changed, then we won't like stop the show for it. We'll like do notes at the end, or just like do whatever we feel would be right.
But during the show, Maddie is in control. Miss Malloy is just a viewer.
She's just a fan in the seats. Yeah. So it's your baby, your show. Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Did you hear last night when the horse and buggy went on stage? There was applause.
Yeah.
That was exciting. I had chill bumps for it's nice having an audience that appreciates what you're trying to do. That's very cool. So, as they say, break a leg, have fun tonight.
But don't break a leg.
Or don't break a leg. Hey, right.
Right.
Don't Cinderella this thing. I guess that would be a new verb or something.
Wait,
Awesome.
sneak in.
And we need to talk to you. We have one more person here, and we need to introduce her. And tell the world who you are.
Hi, so I'm Abiola, and I'm the assistant stage manager. And basically, I'm in the right side wing on stage. And basically, what Matt said, I do exactly what he does. And I like direct everything that like Maddie can because she's over here. And I tell the other techs what to do and when the props go off and on. And
One other question before you remind me of something. How big's your crew backstage? How many kids you got helping in the
There's
back?
about
Eight.
Yeah, there's 8.
We have 8 people.
Awesome. Well, guys, final show tonight. For some of you, final show. I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, that can be kind of tough, but
We might be coming back.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, who knows? Well, we can change some transcripts if you want to. We'll have you back for as long as you want to stay. I mean, that's
fail,
awesome.
it's cool.
There you go. That's cool. Well, guys, awesome work. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you on the stage.
Thank you. Stand 1. Stand by 170 and spot on Derek.
Things are only what you need them for. What's important is who needs them
Derek,
for.
go. Spot and lights go.
And so,
Stand by 175.
found determination would have to be for her. As a little girl, she was surprised to see her grand high shorts standing over.
Track go.
Oh, here. They need to get back.
How easy I feel.
175 go.
Perhaps it's all the sweet. Good day, grandmother. My, you're looking very strange. What big eyes you have.
Get back to the sushi with my dear.
What big ears you have.
Get back to the sushi with my dear.
Oh, what a terrible big wet mouth you have.
Get back to the one goal. Well, both of you both.
And then
And after that
when
video,
SWAT drills, follow
the
Alex.
whole thing takes a nice long nap.
Okay, 130.
One
No,
off.
no, keep 180. Yeah, 1 off. Don't go 180. Because that's
Where's the little girl? Easy come down. Or Ian! No. Grandmother! Oh!
Yes, that's Malloy's
Yes!
ready.
I know!
Get ready.
I said it came from within your stomach!
Lights go.
I'm not thinking what's inside that bowl.
Stand by. Stand by 185.
Take the
And
knife
75 and 65. And stand by
Standing by.
SWAT.
Let's see the TV wrecked into 1,000 bits and let him die slowly. I am not in painful death. Free! I have to keep him
of that go?
I don't think so.
Everything never just said everything.